edition of Sauti Sessions.
When I started Sauti Sessions in July 2025, it came from a simple realization that young people in Kenya have stories, opinions, and lived experiences, but very few spaces where these voices are truly heard. So together with an incredible team, and with the support of partners like CJP Films, mostly made up of an amazing female technical crew, and Baraza Media Lab, we began experimenting, trying to build something small but intentional. And very quickly, Sauti Sessions became exactly that. A place for honest conversations about who we are, what we're going through, and where Kenya is headed.
What did Masai do today?
That is why I am super excited to say that we are back, more consistent and even bolder. So we kick off on the 2nd of April, and from then on, we meet every first Thursday of the month, because this has never been just about talking. It's actually about creating an understanding, appreciating our differences, and demanding accountability and ultimately change. And so we'll keep doing that through art, music, storytelling, and dialogue. See you soon.
Welcome to the...
Okay, take 3. The alarm clock rings, the traffic builds, and the grind never stops. We're talking about the sweat, the side hustles, and the sheer heart it takes to survive this economy. Join us on the 2nd of April for a night dedicated to the Kenyan spirit. We're diving deep with our main guest, Eddie Butita. We'll also have a panel discussion featuring Barack Bukusi and Nyandia Gachagua. We also have the raw truth of the street with spoken word from the one and only Mufasa the poet. And we're setting the vibe with a live performance by Brandy Minor herself, guys.
Gonna trust issues. I can never trust anyone no more.
Hosted by me, Shiro Morioki, we're pulling back the curtain on what it really looks like to make it in the 254. Save the date, April 2nd. Do not miss the hustle. Do not miss the conversation. Crock it.
Okay, so the rest of you are self-employed. Let's see by show of hands, everyone who's self-employed. Why are you hiding? I'm not scary. I'm not gonna come for you all. All right. All right. So, in whatever you are, whether you are self-employed or whether you are working for someone else, this economy is still gonna hit you. And so, part of the things that we're trying to accomplish today is basically trying to shift the conversation away from a sense of helplessness and victimhood towards what can we do? We have found ourselves in this situation that is not of our making. We're not the ones who have called war. now, the best place to start is, let's feed our minds. Let's spark our brain cells, our cerebellums, with some spoken word from Mufasa the poet. Give him a hand.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Whew. I talk about my mother a lot in my poems. I will also talk about my mother today. My mother is amazing at exaggerating. My mother will say, Kibe, nikutuangia chapo saisi, mimi nikupikia chapo. Sunangoka hapo jini. Kwanza yangu ni Elias, ngosi natoka tu peke yake hivi. I don't know about your mother, but when I was a kid, my mother did not like it when you looked tired in front of her. My mother would ask, Kibet, umechoka nini? Umechoka kujilipia school fees? Au umechoka kutulipia rent? Ama umeamka kwa jamii tu, wacha nijoge. When I was 14 years old, my mother used to come home almost every day with new clothes for herself. And my mother had a game to make sure we didn't feel bad about the fact that she was buying herself new clothes every day. So my mother would come home and the first thing my mother would say was, Kibet, hautamini majago hivi. Hii blouse, kesi menua ngapi? Just kiss. I would say, 500. And my mother had the best reaction ever. My mother would say, hey, wabi ya nani? To, 50. When I was, I think, 18 years old, I used to think of preachers as people who had a solution to every national problem. So when I was 18 years old, I told my mother I wanted to be a preacher. My mother said, if you can't save money, how will you save people? First time I performed a poem on TV, I remember the poem was I'm the son of a woman, black woman. That time my mother called and said, first time I was featured in the newspaper on a full page. My mother called and said, one thing that my mother really, really hates is anytime I'm part of a protest. Like, anytime there's a protest and I attend, my mother, she'll call my sister, then she'll call me complaining, Kibet, usijaribu kutoka kwa nyumba? Huh? Askari akupika bastola? Utampeleka wapi? Huh? Utampeleka polisi? So uko ni kwao. So every morning after a protest, my sister calls. My voice tells her I did not spend the night at a morgue. It is a good morning. There'll be no morning at our home today. At least my mother will find another chance to try to talk sense to his son. My mother will say, Kibet, don't talk about the government in your poems. Write, but don't try to right wrongs when you write, because one day you might write a poem so good it will take you to a grave and people will come to give you your flowers. They will say that last poem was so deep it took you under, so much depth it took death to call you to get you your flowers. My mother will say, don't try love a country with your poems. Love a woman instead. But I'll remind her, even the women I would write for are dying too. Give it up for Fadhili Tulia.
It's for sure the sun will rise at dawn, down in Africa. It's for sure the sun will set at dusk down in Africa. Yes, it's for sure that sons of the land are bold in Africa. And it's for sure the daughters of the land make us proud in Africa. The women will shout, ooh, the children still play, yeah, na, 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 yeah, na, na, yo. The women will shout, ooh, and the children still play, yeah, na, na, yeah, na, yo. The women will shout, ooh, and the children still play, yeah, na, yeah, na, yo. Saleh, assalamu alaikum. Saleh, Saleh, assalamu alaikum. Saleh, Saleh, assalamu alaikum.
My boys are dying. Some of them are poets. They have written 1,000 poems, but not one has earned them a living. Open mics, don't open the door when the landlord closes your house. My boys are dying. Some of them are singers. You may or may not have heard their songs before, but every mealtime they eat their own songs and choke on their lyrics. My boys are dying. Don't let those Nike shoes fool you. There's nothing correct about the heart of a young man who has nothing but his Nike shoes. My boys are dying for being misunderstood. Understand that my boys will do anything for money. Understand that sometimes the modern woman has a watchman, a CCTV camera, and a mobile app that will send people to fix anything in her house. So the only security she might need from a man is financial. My boys are dying because their pocket is light. My boys are dying because their heart is heavy. Maybe if they had witnessed voice, they would sing their heart out and just watch it beating right in front of them. My boys are dying from heartbreaks, from disappointments. They're not asking to win all the time. They're asking to win at least this one time. My boys are dying because the universe has refused to accept them as stars. Now they're earthbound, bound to be earth. Earth is soil. Soil is sometimes called dirt. My boys are dirty. My boys are dying from working in sewers and garbage points without proper gear. The family fears, but it's what steers. They're leaving, believing tomorrow will come, but today is leaving. My boys are dying from taking care of families they don't feel taken care of. My boys are dying from bullet wounds. My boys are dying for being boys, for being big boys, for being just boys, for being best boys, for being in a group of boys. My boys are dying before their fathers. My boys are dying because their fathers. My boys are dying to go farther. They've got bomb lyrics to bomb your TV. Check the temperatures. They are walking degrees. Their mind is a state of art. The state has refused to stage outside. My boys are dying inside. Ask the jail warden. My boys are dying from duodenal wounds, from intestinal wounds. My boys are dying outside. My boys are dying because our leaders are clashing. My boys are dying because our leaders are lying. My boys are dying because integrity is dying. My boys are dying because they have nothing to go back to. I know boys my age in the streets going back to back, blaming a whole country for not having their back. My boys are dying because they lose hope. My boys are dying because their mind is at war. My boys are dying and all our local leaders keep doing is lying to fly. China, Dubai, I wonder what to buy while my boys cannot afford a bus back home. My boys are dying, man. And I'm not the one to save them.
Africa, Assalamu alaikum. Saleh. Saleh. Assalamu alaikum. Saleh. Saleh. Assalamu alaikum. Saleh. Assalamu alaikum.
There's no special
Women
village.
say, Asante sana.
Thank you very much. Give it up for Fadili Tulia. There is no special village or town where leaders come from. These leaders come from within us, the reflection of who we are. So change won't come when our leaders change. Change will come when we accept the leader inside all of us. Thank you.
Guys, do you feel like you scammed? I don't know what just happened. I guess we're going handheld today. Yes, I don't know if you guys heard me before. Did I shout enough for you guys? I shouted. So are you guys ready to learn about Joan Nyambura? Okay, CJP, are we ready to go? Let me know. All right, let's go.
My name is Joan Nyambura Mogera, popularly known as For Real KE Online. I'm an automotive technician who deals with car inspection. When you're growing up, we never have access to the right career advice. So most of the times we end up falling, or rather following what other people are telling us to do. Your parents believe this is the best career for you. Their relatives who've been in that field and they want to glorify it in a way that it entices you. But the reality on the ground is entirely different. And if at all you do not pursue something that the drive is within you, eventually you end up finding yourself in a situation whereby you feel you don't belong. My love for cars started quite early. The engineering behind it is something that I would say, like, it really gave me the desire to learn more. You know, how does an engine work? I mean, how does a gearbox work? Me getting into medicine was out of what I'd call external pressures. You're a bright student, you're an A student, definitely. What else are you meant for? You're meant to do medicine. But then on going there, I realized this is not a field I want to be in. Just by feeling that I don't belong. This is not where I'm meant to be. I was in my second year. So I dropped medicine, went back home with a lot of disappointment from my parents. People around me were like, what's wrong with you? You know, that kind of thing of everyone wants to do medicine. You got the chance to do medicine, you're quitting. So people start viewing you with the quitter mentality. You're confused. You don't know what you want in life. But then I've always been passionate about cars. I started with a car broker. You know, car broker whereby I knew Maina is selling a vehicle, Njoroge is interested in buying the vehicle. So John goes in, talks to Maina about the vehicle he's planning to sell, talks to Njoroge about the vehicle that Maina is planning on selling. I get my cut. Eventually, I evolved until I became a car dealer, whereby now I would buy my own locally used units, then I would sell them for a markup. I bought a Volkswagen Polo. It was a German car. Never had prior experience with German cars, and I didn't know that these cars are high maintenance. It gave me the thrill in terms of performance and driving, but now when it comes to the repairs, the maintenance, I'm telling you, Rose, it was crazy. Garage home. Draining me mentally, draining me financially, draining me emotionally. Eventually, I had to sell that car in a garage because now there's no way I could deal with it anymore. And now I realized that that challenge I had, it was not an isolated case, if I were to say. So many people outside there are dealing with the same thing, just that they are not bold enough to talk about it. And that is when I decided I'm going to go back and pursue automotive engineering. I went, pursued it as a diploma at Railway Training Institute, whereby after I did a course of 3 years, and I was able now to amass a lot of knowledge, such that by the time I'm coming back into the field, I'm already a certified technician. After that, I joined Precision Automotive, started as an intern, progressed. Later on, I became a workshop manager. Now, when I was a workshop manager, I was also the one who was in charge of quality control. So I noticed a very interesting trend. New cars are coming with issues. A car is directly from Mombasa, and it's coming with serious issues to the garage. I realized there is a gap. We've got the sellers, we've got the buyers, but in between them is a very huge gap that one is going in blindly, the other one knows about it, but is not willing to talk about it. And that is how inspections were born.
As I said before, Joan is with us today. She's sitting right here at the front. I don't know if you could stand up and wave. All right, so Joan, I want, hey, until even Nyandia has said, I must. She's my hero. All right, Joan, first of all, I know you said that you faced a lot of backlash and everything, but my question, as your fellow med school dropout, why?
Okay.
Why?
I think, Shiro, it's the same reason why people walk out of marriages, people walk out of relationships. Yeah, true. Because if you ever go in an environment where you don't belong, you can never grow.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go in an environment where you feel restricted, where you can't just just spruce your wings up and fly, why should you stay there?
You know what? Points are being made, I fear. So now that you've made that pivot that's kind of dizzying to a lot of people, especially because in a lot of people's minds, medicine is where you find job security. So now you've entered the hustle economy. How are you and how's it going for you so far?
So far, so good. I think this is the best decision I ever made.
Yeah.
I have no regrets at all.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And in terms of like, is it paying you or could it be paying better? Or I don't want to watch your pockets, but without putting Kere on your case,
Yes.
could you tell us how well it's going in that sense?
Honestly, I would say it's going beyond my expectations.
Wow.
Not just financially, but also emotionally, socially. It's putting me in a place where for once I feel I belong. For once I don't have to prove a point. And for once I'm not doing something to please someone.
Wow.
Every day when I wake up, I'm intentional about what I'm doing. Every day when I wake up, I feel accomplished knowing that I'm making a difference in the society at large. And for that, I feel emboldened. I feel very much encouraged, knowing that every day I wake up, definitely, I'm doing something amazing.
Oh my God, that is so cool. Now, you said that you finally feel like you belong and you no longer have to prove points, which is a really interesting thing to say, like, when you've entered a field that's so male-dominated. So the fact that it's so male-dominated, has it proved like to be a challenge for you?
Honestly, in the beginning, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you look at mechanics and ladies and our physique, definitely, those are two lines that don't meet at all. They're more like parallel lines. By the fact that for a mechanic, you must have the muscle power. You must be, heavily built. You can lift engines. You can lift the diffs and everything. But times are changing. The same way advancement in technology in other fields is happening is the same way it's happening in the automotive industry. Cars are evolving. Right now, we are not looking at mechanics who can hammer really hard or mechanics who can lift heavy things. We are looking at mechanics who are critical thinkers. Yeah. We are looking at mechanics who can identify issues with a vehicle and fix them. Not just someone who's going to fix a vehicle blindly. And that's where we come in. Because as much as we don't shine in muscle power, we shine in brain power, which is one thing that's needed.
Show of hands who's changing their mechanics today. Me, I might need to change mine. He likes to play with my emotions. Anyway, so finally, given everything that you shared with us, and knowing that it's still a highly male-dominated field, are you mentoring more girls and women to enter this field? Are you seeing a change based on maybe 5-10 years ago to date? Are there more women entering this field?
Definitely, Shiro.
Yeah.
In my field, as of now, when I started out the car inspection, I was just a lone person. But then over the last few months, I've already started a company where I've already hired ladies and gents as well.
Wow.
I've got 2 ladies who I've personally trained to carry out inspections. And it's something we are planning on even diversifying more and more, ensuring that we can bring in more people. Because the whole thing of being ignorant about cars and assuming that our male counterparts can handle it for us, I mean, those days are long gone. Yeah. You need to understand a vehicle the same way a parent understands a kid. Because they're becoming a necessity. Let us be honest.
Yeah.
It's becoming a daily necessity to move from point A to point B, maybe in style, in comfort. You need a vehicle. Then it's high time we understand vehicles. Even though they're complex, we have to understand them.
We have no excuse.
You don't have an excuse.
All right then, ladies and gentlemen, Joan Nyambura. All right, let's move on to my next 2 victims. So, Barak and Nyandia, thank you so much for joining us. But first, let me give everyone your bios, all right? Let's start with the lady. Nyandia Gashago is a Google Digital Skills Certified Marketing and Communication Expert. If I take a breath in the middle of reading your credentials, you know you got it going on. And you also have over a decade of experience. She's one of the biggest voices in Kenya on the integration of AI into business. Nyandia has also been at the forefront of championing innovative marketing concepts to drive growth. She also understands the challenges of navigating the hustle economy, having tried her hand at different hustles before building a thriving marketing career. Give Nyandia a hand, everybody. Oh, she also makes a lot of noise on Twitter. If you don't know now, you know. All right, let's move on to Barak. So Barak Lukusi is a lawyer quick one, Wakili, I'll see you after. I have a few problems. So you're a lawyer by training, and he's also a creative economy sports advisor and host of the Financially Incorrect podcast, which I told you earlier, if you haven't listened to it, you must. Absolutely must. So his expertise spans digital business models, content strategy, digital marketing, data analytics, another breath, e-commerce and emerging economies. So he's also a strong advocate of digital literacy and views digital tools as indispensable in business to forging meaningful connections, driving sustainability and contributing to societal progress. Woo! A hand for Barack. And by the way, if you're sitting and you're a young professional at the beginning of their career, by the way, you need to work so that the next time someone reads your bio, they're taking deep breaths in the middle before they continue. All right, guys, let's start this conversation. And I think the first question to begin, and this one goes like to the both of you essentially, is this. Let's talk about what the hustle economy is first. How would either or both of you describe or define as the hustle economy? Because that means everything, like different things for different people.
I think my definition of the hustle economy would probably be, it's a definition of the gig economy, doing multiple things to make ends meet, to try and make money, trying to ensure you're able to pay your bills, trying to ensure you're able to invest for your future, and not using the traditional conventional employee-employer contract to make it happen.
Right. Yeah. Do you agree, Nyantia?
I do. It's absolutely about hustle. It's about having something to eat. It's something to keep you moving, something that inspires you, as Joanne said, and something that puts money in your pocket.
Yeah. So now, given those two descriptions, now from where you both sit, is the hustle economy like a source of empowerment or flexibility, or could it be seen as a symptom of a formal economy that has failed people? I don't know who wants to take that one first.
It's very interesting. I think that the name hustler has changed, especially in Kenyan terms, post-Ruto, openly. How we used to view the hustle economy before versus how we view the hustle economy now has changed. Because previously it was truly about hustle, hard work, being brilliant. I think now you just need to be Oscar Sudi and then you're just going to prosper. You don't need to do much. But the hustle culture in actuality has always been about hard work and rewarding that hard work. But could it also have been that we've glorified non-stop work and extreme hard work in the name of hustle culture? Because we've become ingrained, especially as Africans, that if you've not sweat, you've not worked. And we've become used to only rewarding ourselves with good things and nice things once we've sweat. So you could spend a whole day working or 2 hours doing some intense work. But then to you, you've not maybe, I don't know, walked or carried a rock. I don't know what you think hard work is. And then you're like, maybe I've not worked hard enough. It's even mentally ingrained in us. And I think that's why there's a gap between kids who are making really good money and people who are sort of struggling. There's a mental shift somewhere that needs to happen. And part of that mental shift, to a degree, I would also ascertain to what Joan did. A very comfy job, which is a complex and hard in itself, but for something extremely unconventional, but is very rewarding and creating a niche for yourself.
Wow. Okay, Brad, do you agree? And also, same question. Is it like a symptom of an economy or a formal economy that has failed us?
Yeah, I think it's possibly a symptom of something that has failed. I don't know whether it's the economy or what, but something that has failed. Because I think the problem is that you cannot base a system based on an exception. And there are a lot of people who are exceptions and are working really hard in making the hustle economy look really good, but they're exceptional. But the fact that the average person cannot make it within whichever craft that they're in is the problem. Because if we had a good baseline, then everyone would be fine, exactly. Right? So that for me is that's why I say there's a failure of something.
Yeah. Because if you think about it, does a Donda today make the money a Donda 5 years ago used to make?
And how can that be tracked?
Right. If a Donda for OST used to hustle, look nice, live somewhere, take care of his kid or his baby mamas, and just, navigate the economy. But how is a Donda today focusing? When you think of it that way, then you start saying there's a change.
So for both of you, given your areas of expertise, then do you feel that the lack of formal tracking in various sectors of formal or informal employment, the lack of tracking, the questions that Nyandia has asked, 5 years ago versus now, does the lack of tracking contribute then to the continued struggle that most people in the hustle economy face when they're trying to get paid well, or even, well, they're trying to negotiate in terms of contracts and so on? Does that hinder them, especially like for you as a lawyer, because, you know, that's what you do. You set out contracts. So do you find that the lack of this formal tracking system kind of digs, for lack of a better term, digs a hole for us to fall into?
I'd say the lack of the system evolving leads to the issue that we're in now.
Right.
So you'll find that the traditional systems, whether it's a banking system, whether it's a credit system, whatever the case is, wants to relate to you in the hustle economy the same way it does to someone in the employment economy. So, for example, I could be making more money than someone in the employee space, but because they have a pay slip, because they have someone who signs off a contract and says, I'll pay you every single month, a credit facility sees me as more risky, will not invest in me, will not give me a loan, will not give me the ability to make any of that money. So systems like those have not evolved fast enough to adapt to, I guess, what we're calling the hustle economy. So we're hustling, but we're not able to find facilities that help us then scale this hustle into new levels.
All right, I'm going to make like Wendy Williams, keep you all engaged. Clap your hands if you agree. Thank you. How you doing? All right. So Nyandia, you were first in formal employment, and then you made the career pivot, and now moved into your own like stuff, setting up your own agency, which I really followed your career by the way, if you don't know. So what was your motivation, first of all, to leave the world and the security of formal employment behind? And how has that transition been so far?
I think kids who don't belong can tell that earlier on. You can tell it, like when you're in primary school, like when you're in high school, you can tell that you're a different kind. You're Caspeccio. Larry was so unfair. I saw special forces. So you can tell you're different earlier on. And I think often we're not then redirected when we're young to be told that there's a very high chance either you're in the creative economy, you're a different type of person as opposed to somebody who is in another sort of economy. But just because maybe you're an A grade, a B grade, you're classified something, and then all the rest are classified as something else, which is very, very bad. So I learned very earlier on, I was easily employable because I have a good mouth, but I'm also easily fireable because I have a good mouth. For the same reason. Yes, the very same reason. Yeah. So I had my first startup when I was 17, just after I completed campus. I've had 3 failed startups. My 4th startup and my 5th startups are now what are successful, but I've been failing nonstop, which is wonderful because there's nothing as good as failing in your 20s. It is cheap, it's affordable. Failing in your 30s, 40s, 50s, my God.
Very expensive.
It's extremely expensive.
Yeah.
So it failed. I felt like it was the end of the world. Took like 10 Piritons, and we move. But it's a result of knowing yourself and where you should be. And also a disparity that I've come to learn where we've told kids to follow your, passion. Follow the money.
Ooh.
The money leads you to your passion. If whatever you think your passion is, wait until you have good money. You're gonna realize new passions. You see, Butita wants to do 100 films. Ask him when he was like 19 what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
I promise you, follow the money first.
But is this resonating? Because I saw you having physical reactions to what she was saying. And also, you making that pivot as well. Did you follow the money or your passion? Tell us about that pivot for you.
I think for me, it was following the passion. I studied law. I'm an advocate with the High Court. In 2010, I had the privilege of attending Commonwealth Games that was being played somewhere. And I thought it would be really cool to bring this back home. And that's when I sort of made the shift. I played some semi-professional sports for a period in time in my life as well. So
what did you play before you go on?
I played rugby.
Oh,
yes.
Okay. Work.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was where the interest into the creative, into the entertainment economy began.
Yeah.
So I studied that, and then slowly sort of shifted and transitioned into the wider creative economy, and so that's how I ended up in this ecosystem.
Right.
Yeah, so it was passion for sure.
It was passion. And has it been treating you well? I know that your podcast is doing pretty good.
It's amazing.
I think anyone who works in the creative industry will tell you it's a difficult place to capture value and to find them to capture the value and monetize it. So there's seasons, and I mean, I'm still here, so
yeah. You've not starved.
No, I have not.
Oh, okay. All right. So, Nyantia, as a marketing and communications expert, now you truly understand how indispensable skills in the digital space are, especially when we're trying to survive the hustle and the gig economy, as it were, right now. So, from your experience, how has this digital space evolved from being something you can choose to have to something that you must have right now?
It's interesting because now when I was getting into campus, they had just introduced a course that I think everybody and their uncle took in Nairobi called BBIT. And it was in every college, and every parent was hustling to get their kid into a BBIT course.
Yeah.
Which in
Packages.
case, what should have happened was it should have been absorbed into medical, into med tech. It should have been absorbed into edutech. Because now what's happening is that the guys who studied technology alongside their skill are the guys who are now able to be good at what the economy is dictating off right now. So we are now in a place where technology is inevitable, and Kenyans, we are very early adopters. Sadly, our governments aren't, and that's why also there is a disparity with the economy, because Kenyans are early adopters.
Yes.
So we adopt, then the government is supposed to catch up and tell us, hey, you guys are here. Okay, so GPT comes set up, give them jobs, pay them from this economy, right? But then as we adopt, we try, we push the tools. Government is still now doing things.
There's a bill now in Parliament, it's supposed to be presented
by a lawyer, Karen Nyambo.
Yeah.
So,
you see, I didn't want to say because I'm glad she's the one who said they're not me. Do you mean in December you guys would have said I'm throwing shades? Continue.
These jokes by themselves. So instead of adopting the technology into how it should work, while guys in abroad countries 2 years ago adopted AI to monitor their traffic, to manage their hospitals, they have AI ministers. As we are here, so that we don't make a meme of Karen Nyamo. The lack of Nini is wild. Truly, I don't even know, have no words to put into it.
No, scripture has the words. My people perish for. Thank you.
Yes. Miguna has been proven right so many times over the past few weeks, man. We really apologize to Miguna for anything wrong we ever said about him back then. It was right. So it's crazy. So technology was a part of education from the get-go.
Yeah.
Their kids learned this because their kids went to the good schools. Their kids are not doing this. Us, we didn't learn it because we were in the, polling station schools. We studied in a polling station.
Yeah.
Now their kids went to schools, learned this. Education was part of. So that's why we are also having a very big disparity, because now people are playing catch up. But AI has made it much easier. Please.
You and I will talk.
Aki,
yeah, because
please.
I'm still highly prejudiced, but I think that is a function of my age and not whether AI is good or not. All right. So, Barak, earlier you talked about, the difficulty in monetization and so on, right? And of course, there's so much potential in the digital economy, especially as the next frontier, in where young people and basically people that want to exist outside of the formal ecosystem, right? So what's the missing link between creativity and making money, and how can we bridge the gap between skill and monetization in this hustle economy?
Yeah, I think if we're speaking specifically around the creative economy, my thinking is that it's not easy to make money in the creative economy. It's not a straight line. I'll give a very quick example. I think a year or a year and a half ago, there was a car salesman whose business, sort of was folded, and he went and he set up a GoFundMe of some sort on Twitter, and people were essentially contributing to it, and there was a safe note agreement and anything. I don't think it was real money, but before the thing was shut down, I think he raised I want to say $40,000, something crazy like that, like a figure ridiculous in that figures. And my thinking around that is it's very easy to understand how buying and selling cars work. I buy a car at X, I sell it at Y, my profit is Z, I make it work. But in the creative economy, that's not exactly how it works, right? I'll give an example of the Fillet films. I mean, they have a bunch of films and they're looking to raise funding. But how many of you would be willing to say, here's 1,000 shillings, I'll put it into the film, or 1,000,000 shillings, I'll put it into the film, and we'll want to make money back? The way that the creative economy works, the way that we make money is complex. It's complicated. And so I think there needs to be an understanding from the investor side, or people who want to put money into the system to understand how it works. There needs to be more education around that. And there need to be more entrepreneurs coming into the system to be able to make it work. I think that's what ultimately will push the creative economy forward. I don't know that more creators per se is what is needed. I think we need more entrepreneurs in the system, more people who can see the opportunity to make money, and that's what's really going to move our industry forward.
Oh, great. So, this comes to, like, for both of you, like, from where you both sit, what are the biggest hurdles that young people face in the hustle economy, and how can they be circumvented using smart digital and marketing tools and communication tools and so on? I don't know. I think that's you answer it, and then we can see if Barack resonates.
So the hurdles that I've seen with young people is I don't know if it's an us issues as we hire the younger people. We are not finding employers who have a lot of patience, and that is a cause from a lot of reasons, both economic, socio-political, and so on and so forth. But there is this whole thing where you're, for example, hiring an intern, and it's not an unpaid internship, which I personally don't agree with, but okay, sawa, let's just say that's the situation. But even the patience that is needed to take creatives and these young guys through the study thing, there's this expectation that is a little wild to me. And I don't know if it's because of working with a lot of like millennials who used to work a little different. They're a little different. Their kujituma is different than Gen Z. That doesn't mean Gen Z don't jituma. It just looks a little different, right? But then I think there's a little bit of a disconnect there. And that's where I'm finding a big issue with guys not having that patience with a lot of the younger guys. The younger guys are curious about a lot of things, maybe too curious, but they are curious. They're curious about things. And if you're able to funnel that into what they're good at, especially like us, we're in creative spaces, if we can funnel that, once you learn what they're good at and channel that into something that they can make money from, that would be goals. So I think it's a patience game with the young ones.
Oh, and that's my next question then is basically related to what she just said. So I guess you can also see we resonate, and then also with my question, and that's before you go to the Q&A. So earlier you said that the answer is not more creators, it's more entrepreneurs. But there's still people who want to be creators, right? So in a situation where the space is saturated, I don't know if one can say so right now, but in a situation, supposing it was saturated, how then can a Kenyan creative identify a niche that is both, that both elicits passion and also gives them money?
Okay, I think before I answer that, maybe let me just piggyback off of what Nyanja was saying around what I think the biggest hurdle is. I think it's just that life is expensive. I think life is expensive for everybody who's leaving university or in university and trying to make a living. I think I've spoken to 2 real estate developers. These are the guys who have built Kwetu, Kejani, and Savo, and all of them have made a business off of the housing deficit that exists in our country, meaning that anybody who's finishing university or anyone who's just starting in their first, second, and third jobs, there is no decent housing for them to find, or whatever is there is too expensive, right? So you to find a decent house you want to live in costs X amount of money. You can make it work. Then if you look at just other living expenses, whether you're paying, whether it's black tax, as people like to call it, whether it's fare, whether it's transport, whether it's fuel, wherever it's going to get to now, life is just simply too expensive for the salary or the money that you're making, right? And I think everybody then works 2, 3, 4 different kinds of things. For me, it was a realization when last year I had an auntie who, she's probably in her late 50s, maybe early 60s. I was having a conversation with her and she was asking me, so what do you do? And I found it really difficult to answer the question because I do a number of things. So I told her, I do X, 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 and X. And then she looked at me and she told me, because she didn't live here. And she said, so are you telling me that to be able to afford the life that you live, you have to do multiple jobs? And I realized that for her, it was totally different. I mean, she's worked one job all of her life and not needed to do anything else. And I said, I need to do multiple things to sort of make it happen. So I think that's the situation for a lot of people. Now to the question around the creative economy and what I think. I also think there's a bit of a fantasy that's been sold around the creative economy and the media business and the entertainment business and showbiz. Because right now, if you went on your phone and you Googled, what does the average actor in America make? If I'm not mistaken, it's $43,000 a year.
Yes.
And if I'm not wrong, they're either just below or right around minimum wage, if I'm not mistaken. And that therefore means working as an average actor or working in McDonald's or any other regular job in America, you are absolutely the same. So I think there's the allure of the creative industry, of the success of the people that we see the 1%, and we assume everybody is there. So my question in many ways would be, if you look at the Kenyan creative economy and you were to break it down in the same sort of pyramid, who would be at the 1% and who would be in the middle? And what would that look like? When I was in law school at the Kenya School of Law, there was one of our lecturers who came in and he was talking about, he was giving us advice to set up law firms. And one thing he said, and this is not a knock-on effect on anybody, but one thing he told us is, there are lawyers in Rongai. And essentially he was saying, yes, you might want to work at Kaplan, you might want to work at all the big law firms, but there's a middle point and there are people there as well. And so I think in the creative industry, there needs to be, to answer your question, I think there needs to be a realer approach to what does our 1% look like? What is our median? And what's our average? And I think our average is a lot lower than
the global average.
Yeah, the local average would be a lot lower than people would like to understand. I mean, if you look at the percentages, that it's less than 2% of people in the country earn more than 100,000 shillings a month or something ridiculous like that. So it's crazy. It's just an expensive life, and we don't have.
You said how many people make 100,000 and above?
It's below 2%.
And they are all on Twitter. All of them. All of us on Twitter are rich.
Everyone on Twitter is rich. All right. If you have any questions that have been marinating as the two of them are speaking, Nyawira is going to be walking around with her microphone as well. Just if you have any questions to ask Barack or Nyandia, just by show of hands, just raise your hand and Nyawira is going to come to you. Yeah, there's someone right here at the front.
Hi. Is it on? Okay. My name is Kezia. I'm a student at USIU. I'm in my final year. I also create content on Instagram and also YouTube.
Okay.
So my question goes to both of them. So currently I'm in my final year, so I'm at that transition phase. And so looking back, like when you are starting or like when you are 22, what advice would you give in terms of just realistically, should I first try and pursue the corporate world first and then keep content on the side, or should I just go all in and just say whatever, like what, especially because of that transition, because obviously uni cushions you a lot, but now I'm about to graduate and I even stalled because I was supposed to graduate this year, but I was like, let me just stall.
You don't want to enter the real world just yet.
I'm just a baby.
Girl, I feel you.
I'm just a girl, like, yeah.
It's hard out here.
Yeah, because obviously, as Nyandia said, which really resonated with me, like I feel like I've always known that I want to be a creative. Like I really, really gravitate towards that. And it's the one thing I've been able to do consistently. But then now there's all this pressure of who's going to pay your rent, like how you're going to afford the lifestyle and all these things. So yeah, that's basically my question.
I think, sorry.
Which one?
I can answer that. Yeah, so I think for me, what I would do is, which is essentially how I started getting out there. I got out there out of other things that then led me to creating. But creating was never the thing for me. And maybe that's why it's good. But I think I would multitask. That's why Barack has 6 jobs. I would enter corporate and continue creating content. interestingly, we are shifting from, the way there's user-generated content, the statistics in marketing is that it's going to employee-generated content. So if actually your employees, people are now moving into an economy where you're fostering your employees to become content creators.
Right.
Like for us at Mintyline, we make companies their own influencers. We don't hire influencers. Of course, we will work with creatives, but for the main thing, we look for a few people in the organization to then highlight and grow. So I would multitask. I would still enter corporate, find a cushion, because you can't even create content when you're stressed. It's stressful. And then now you have to go to 11 labs and clone your voice. That's an AI tool. You have to go to 11 labs, clone your voice. Then when you're stressed, you use it because your voice is not normal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Multitask. Yeah.
Brad?
I mean, I think largely to what she said. Personally, I went into creative. I sort of did a bit of both at the same time in the corporate and creative before I pivoted completely. Yeah.
All right. Any other questions? Show of hands. Yeah, there's someone right here at the front.
I think it's on. Yeah. Okay. I think mine is not a question, but what Barack said just made me think about myself. When he had 6 jobs, I'm like, that's every weekend I go home to my dad and he tries to understand what exactly I do.
Uh-huh.
So like my question is, how do you explain to I'm not being shady to Gen X, but how do you explain to a Gen X in one word, who are you? Because me, I'm a creative. I've been a noisy person since I was a kid.
How many jobs do you have? Let's count them.
I'm a photographer. I'm a musician. I do content creation once in a while. I'm a grips. I do film.
Wow.
I'm a student still.
Dio. All this while still a student. And a partridge in a pear tree. Okay. All right. Any other questions? Show of hands. There's someone right at the back. Hi. Please check if the microphone is on. Thank you.
My question is,
as long as it aligned with what I like, it was where the money was. So I would morph with the money. So I to morph. Don't always fight where life is taking you.
I don't fight
you
the
fight
current.
it. You cannot beat life. I'll tell you that for a fact. You cannot beat life. Figure out what life is trying to adjust you to. It's higher and higher. So
All right.
yeah.
Do you agree, Barack?
Yes.
What? 100%. All right. Another question?
My name is Andrew Balongo Pere. I'm a creative. I'm also a podcaster, and my podcast is called The Revenge of the Forsaken Gods. And
That's interesting.
yes, and I interview
Title
people.
of my composition in class 1.
Oh, thank you. Yes, inspiration. And yes, Baraki mentioned that we need more entrepreneurs in the creative space. Barak and Nyandia, as both of you who are thriving entrepreneurs in the creative space, what would be 3 things that you could advise us how we can be entrepreneurs in this creative space, looking at your successful with your Mintyline and your successful with your podcast? What are 3 things that creatives can start practicing? Thank you very much.
I saw how both of you had the same physical reaction to thriving. They're like, hey, easy. Anyway, but answer the question. Stop whispering and answer. All right.
It's very interesting.
I mean, we can do 1 each and then go from there.
Okay, so the first thing, and this I mean in all honesty and certainty, is for me is God, genuinely, like the grace of God, and especially in the creative space. There are things that have happened that I cannot explain that I attribute to absolutely that. And I've given my 1. You can go now.
Learn. That is very key for me as well, because as a creative, whatever you deem God is, He's the OG creator. As a creative, you always have to attach to a higher source to get your creativity replenished. It's very important to always acknowledge the need for a creative higher than yourself, and tapping into that will keep you always full, will always keep your cup flowing. Secondly is figure out where you come from. I say this a lot. DNA has memory. Find out what your people did back in the day. And I mean in the day, not like in the 70s, because I know Gen Z are
Like
like, in
ancestrally.
the 80s. No, in like the 1700s. Go figure out what your people did. There's a very high chance what they did and were good at is what you're good at. It will give you a very good inkling of where you're meant to be in your life. I've found that to be how I was able to angle my life and situate myself in somewhere I would thrive. It was based on what my shows did. And that's why I have a septum ring as well.
I guess, and my ancestors never shut their mouths. Couple more questions. Show of hands.
Oh, maybe also just add that question.
Go ahead,
For
as we're
another
finding
one.
someone, yeah.
There's a book called, I think it's called The Business of Creatives or something. I can tell you the title after this because I've read it, and essentially it's a creative who goes into great detail about breaking down the art of creation and business and how to make money in the creative industry. And there's a big distinction for him between being a creative and trying to make money. And those two pursuits are not necessarily the same. They're not necessarily the same. So you have to decide which one you want to do. Yeah.
All right. Anyone else before we? Okay, there's one more, and then we can give your parting shots.
I told myself I would try and just be a fly on the wall today.
Okay, Tatiana, but we can still see you.
Exactly. Shiro and I must come from the same lineage because we can't keep our mouths shut. Thank you so much for the conversation. This question is burning. We've talked so much about making money, right? But how about, what advice can you give us? I'm also 22 years old, just finished uni actually last week.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So now you've given us the advice, like go into corporate, hustle, try and get the different streams of income. But how do we build that wealth? Like, what advice can you give us? Of course, I've watched Financially Inc., but like, what advice can you give us in this room about how to now build that wealth? Like, what do we know about investing? We don't even have income, but like, how can we use our money to make more money?
Okay, so first of all, take a business course. It's very boring, but it's very necessary. I'm not a notes person, I'm a visual learner. Kaspeshi, inventors in this chat. Take a business course. It's gonna do wonders for you. For me, that was watching some specific episodes of Financially Inc. Go look for somebody called Sally Sawe. She's a proper study of money and people who've made money. She's the CEO of the Publicis Group in Africa. So she's the founder of one of the most amazing agencies in existence. So first of all, there are different accounts when you open a business, because I have to run. When you open a business, I'll give you one tip that I applied juicy in my 34 years of living. I didn't know this. You have to open 5 accounts. You have to own 5 accounts, 5 types of accounts. Have notes. Felix, nikisahau nikumbushe. You must have a tax account in your bank. You must have an income account, a dollar account, an OPEX account for suppliers and partners and all those things. What was the other one? A profit account and an investment account. You must have 6 different accounts. Your money must be separated from the get-go. That is something I learned later. You don't want taxmen bugging you and haribuing your life, but you need to separate your money. I'm gonna post it, but you need an income account, which is Kenya shillings and USD, because you must manifest the international money.
Take notes.
You must have a tax account. Whatever you're paid, take 20% of it and throw it inside that tax account immediately. You must have an investment, a profit account, which is also an investment account. A payroll, if you're starting to employ people. The other one was? And an OPEX for suppliers. Pesa ya suppliers unaeka kando. Uskule, uskule ya supplier, lipa nini. Lipa Meta, kama unalipanga Meta, kama unalipanga Instagram, whatever, put it aside. But that is one of the ways that I was told to grow money. The second thing, everybody's telling about MMFs and things like that. It's all wonderful, hoity-toity. MMFs are not meant to stay and hold money for long. MMFs are meant to be transitional, right?
Yeah.
I think we had that discussion. Yes, it's meant to be transitional. So unaambiwa uingie sijui, there's like 6,000 right now. Unaambiwa uingie whatever, There's Sanlam, which is really nice, and all the others. Ukieka, whatever money you get there, ikifika a certain amount, take it into bonds, take it to actual risk, take it to actual money that will grow money for you. MMF is not the type of money that will change your life unless it's like 10 million and you're Oscar Sudi. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not. It's that. It's an alternative to a bank, because your money in a bank just gets taken. You know, it's just, 1500 imekatwa hii mwezi,
Yeah.
for God knows what. MMFs don't do that. It just does the opposite. But the right MMF, ikifika 50K, 100K, take it over, buy a bond. So that's the secret. And then your bond gives you a thing. It gives you a token. That token is also leverage for you to get loans and access to more money. I hope that's practical enough. So that's
Okay.
how we do it in our house.
Anything to add, Barak?
I think for me, it simply would be that I've had over, right now I can confidently say, about 200 conversations with people about their money stories, and every one of them has been individual.
Yeah.
Each and every one of them have done different things. So it's very personal based on what you want to achieve, based off of what I was speaking to it's a bit of a teaser, but I was speaking to a rally driver who's going to be on the podcast in a bit, and he was talking about how he has spent millions in getting his car ready and making it work. And he said, I never had the ambition to have any land. I never had the ambition to own any great assets. So for many of you out there, you can think I'm misusing my money or spending it poorly, but that's not the case for me. I'm absolutely enjoying it. The guy who wrote the book, The Psychology of Money, says, I think a person's ability to best determine what their financial plan will be is their ability to determine their appetite for regret in the future. So if you're a person who loves to travel and experiences life in traveling, and you save all of your money and you end up, in a couple of years not being able to travel, it wouldn't be a good, use of your spend. This is his theory. Vis-a-vis, if you're a person who loves to save and wants to feel secure, and you spend all of your money, in a couple of years, you'll regret all of your actions. So I would say it's absolutely individualistic, but the literature is there for you to learn, understand. There's a lot of money experts. I don't present as a money expert. I simply just have conversations with people about their money stories. So I'm sure you'll find your path one way or another.
All right. So parting shots, 60 seconds or less. Parting shots, tell us where to find you. Tell us what you're up to. Big yourself up for the next 60 seconds. Nandia, you go first.
So I'm the co-founder of a brand called Minty Lime, and now Minty Academy, an AI academy for creatives and business people. So follow us on Instagram, on TikTok, on X for one term, among other things. But most importantly, for AI literacy, it's very important that you understand what's happening in the world of technology, and I help bring that to your understanding.
Thank you. Barak?
Yeah, allow me to just say one quick thing for my parting shot, in addition to where you can find me. If you're interested in financial stories, you can find me on Financially Incorrect, LinkedIn, if you're not chat. But I wanted to add one thing. We have a Uganda edition, a Financial Incorrect Uganda edition.
Yeah.
And the last time when we were in Uganda, I had this conversation with, I think, 3 or 4 different Ugandans. And they were talking about how they disagree with the Western's monetary evaluation system, because they were telling us there are places in Uganda where there are people who go in, year out, without trading cash. They live purely on barter trade still, and they're able to have a really good living. Your kids can go to school or whatever the case is, and purely exist on a barter trade form. And I don't know if there's anywhere in our country where you'd be able to survive
Only Meru.
without a shilling. But it's just an interesting thing to think about, one, in how we value ourselves and what our system is like. And it was just like an interesting thing to consider.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, India and Barak. Oh my gosh, this was so good. And I know you guys have so many more questions. And so if you want to find them, you can find them at the end of this evening's, shall we call them entertainment? Edutainment. Let's call it that. All right. So thank you so much. Give them a final hand once again. All right. Now, she mentioned, I'm from Nyeri. It's very, just by the grace of God, I should have said mentioned right now. But anyway, so right now we're in a very interesting time in our history right now. So we are talking about how we want to be governed past 2027. We're talking about how we are unhappy with how we're being governed right now. We're talking about the changes we want to make. And one of the most important roles that a Kenyan should make, especially one over the age of 18, is to take up a voter's card. So we actually caught up with Alans Ademba, who is one of the people behind the hashtag Tukokadi campaign. Take a look.
My name is Ademba Alans, born and raised in Kibera. Of course, I'm Kenyan. Tukokadi came about when a friend of mine texted wanting me to escort her to Kasarani constituency IBC offices to register for voting. And I saw, because I stay quite far from the IBC constituency offices, I said that it's not prudent for me to just come and take one person to register for voting. So I decided to look for more people. And as a result, I made a tweet on X. And after putting on the tweet went viral. I put a WhatsApp link for the group that I created about Tukokadi. And on 17th of March, that was on Tuesday, the other week, we went to Embakasi constituency offices. We registered 641 people, to be specific, for the first ever episode of Tukokadi. And as a result, the clips went viral, the video that we made went viral, and now it's a national conversation. It's causing national impact. Everybody across the country is registering on a Tukokadi initiative. I am a young person who actually knows what the young people want, and I am a young person that relates with the young people. And the thing is, I let it not be a Demba-led initiative, but let it a citizen-led mass voter registration. The good thing about Kenyans is they will be able to read between the lines. And the moment politicians tried to jump on the trend, the citizens were able to read between the lines and say that these people are here to widen their political muscle and to actually try to relate to young people by finding ways to persuade these young people to be their voters. This initiative is aimed at achieving complete overhaul or just replacing bad leadership with good governance. And the politicians who try to jump in are the same politicians that the masses don't want. So the people were able to read between the line. And the fact that even the presidents jump on the trend tells you the magnitude or the effect or what Tukokadi can actually achieve, that it is working. Now, Tukokadi is not going to end at people registering to vote. Because what then after registering to vote? How are they going to vote? Who are they going to vote? When are they going to vote? Are they actually going to come out and register to vote? So this is it. Once we are done with registering people for voting, now we are going to take it actively to do civic and political education.
Okay, show of hands. Nani yako kadi? Good, because if anyone's hand was down, you are leaving. We are not entertaining people who are not registered voters. All right, Butita, uko kadi?
Since 2013, I've been voting.
Way.
Yes.
Mzee. All right, let me stop acting like everyone is Butita's friend like me, and let me introduce you to Eddie Butita, who made, and very successfully so, the transition from a stand-up comedian towards being a highly influential scriptwriter, director, and entrepreneur. Give Butita a hand, everybody. Hiya, Butita, first of all, how are you?
I'm fine. You said if your CV does not have pauses.
You see, now that's on you.
Like, hata ChatGPT ingekwambia mimi ni nani?
Ninge ChatGPT.
Nyandi just spoke about AI.
I'm sorry, Butita.
Umesema vitu za kawaida, like, Butita is a successful, that's basic.
What else do you want me to say?
He has done many things, basic.
He has done many things. Like? So you tell us about your things, and we all know the things you've done, but let's get into the conversation. Don't commandeer me, wewe. Okay. All right. So, tulianzana na wewe from the trend.
Yes.
And from all the way from all those years ago, you've always had this thing of, I must hustle, I must make money. So when you talk a stand-up comedian to business, how did you make that pivot? And who did you talk to? How did you get to that point where you're like, it's time for me to become an entrepreneur?
One, greed.
Ulafi?
Yes, but packaged greed. Okay, we are all greedy. It's the threshold that determines who is who will go an extra mile to harm maybe people because of their greed. But greed is a natural human instinct.
Yes.
Wanting is a natural human instinct. So for me, I come from a position where I was really interested in understanding why is it that our industry has short lifespans for many people. But if you compare with other industries, the creative industry in other countries, and not first world countries alone, even other third world countries, you realize there is a lot of shelf life when it comes to the creative industry.
Yeah.
So I discovered something. Maybe it was overthinking, or it's something I discovered. When you are doing stand-up comedy, when you are doing anything that involves a gig, an endorsement, just anything with around that circle, when you are going to be paid, those days we used to go for checks, maybe some meeting before you are paid. Those parkings, where? Like those agency parkings, they were serious than the artists that did the initial work.
Yani
So-
the cars that have been parked there.
Yeah, so I figured out that the lie about industry to haina pesa is a very big lie. Iko hiyo pesa iko, but kuna mali lazima isimamie. So for me, I was trying to figure out ni wapi hapo inasimamianga ndio nisimame pia hapo mahali. Ni wapi hapo? Because you'll hear something just maybe on Business Daily that there's a company that spent 3 billion last year on marketing. Hey, uko like some percentage of that was used for maybe the creative works. Either things that are, either let's say creatives, models, graphics designer, just creative thinkers, let's say creatives. Unatafuta u creative billionaire ni nani?
Mwenye alilipa hiyo 3 billion.
Auoni. So kumbe pesa ilitoka, but haifikangi mwisho.
Yeah.
So art itself in this country is expensive. But do we really feel the impact of that expense?
Yeah.
Because we've met clients randomly and they're like, ai, nyi hata shukisheni bei. 1 million video moja.
Wow.
Uko, we, umeongeza 0.2.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hizo umeongeza sana. So actually the funniest thing, there's a time music group in Kenya was charging 1.5 million. There's a group, let me not mention their name. They're a group of 4, a band. So there are many bands. So
okay, Butita.
there's a year they were charging 1.5 million for a show. Then I met someone who was in a company that they had performed every December, every end year party. So the guy was like, ai, hasa tumekuwa tunawalipa 1.5 kutoka huko 5 years ago. So kumbe hao client anajua hao wamekuwa nalipa 1.5 kutoka kitambo, like that's their value.
Yeah.
But now then they think it's when they are reaching that value.
Wow.
You see, so when they are announcing it, it's proud. It's like, bila 1.5 usituite. But that's the actual money people are paying for them.
So that means that the money,
The money is
1.5
there.
was released, but before it got to the 4.
Yes. And now you can't blame that. It's business. Because those people are the ones who have the structures. They put down the proposals. They go and fight for these budgets. And now it's their time to execute. So now that prompted me to see a need to transform the creative work into a structure.
Yes.
So make it a company, make it an entity, because people will do deals with entities that are worth a lot of money, but with individuals, they feel like they are helping you directly.
Oh yeah. There's this thing.
Yeah. So when your company pitches to me,
yeah,
and your company needs 15 million, I don't see it like I'm giving Shiru 15 mic.
Yeah.
But when Shiru asked for 15, you go, ai.
Yeah. Like all that for one person.
Atakuomoka na sisi. Kwanza amekuja na gari gani? Hebu chungulia hapo. So there is a psychological thinking that exists worldwide that entities and organizations
deserve money.
They deserve
more.
money to
Yeah.
do something.
Yeah.
They deserve, they have structures, they have accountants, kuna team, meeting boardroom inaweza jaa. So hii 15 million kuna hii inatembea tembea hapa ndani. So that is just what many people have understood in the creative world, and they do not even need to be creatives, but they benefit highly
Yeah.
from the creative industry. And it's business, it's pure business. So I looked at a lot of creative, a lot of industries that need creative services and the people who drive the business themselves. And I realized in our country, it's so hard to get a creative driving or being a founder of a company that's in a position that's negotiating big deals.
Yeah.
Because now there is the creative side and the business
The
side.
business side, yes.
And those two things have no relationship at all. A creative's desire is to see something being done. Like, ukiwa msanii ukiimba watu wapige nduru, hata unaweza sahau pesa. That is the satisfaction. Like, I really want people to say my art is good.
Yes.
If I paint and people say that my painting is the best in the world, like, that is satisfaction to me.
Yeah.
So what happens is that since we just need that satisfaction, most of the time we ignore the business side, because anytime we try the business side, it becomes brutal because we are more focused into getting that satisfaction than the brutal business side. And the brutal business side is as brutal as hii mziki haiwaka, wachana nayo.
Damn.
Like, business is that brutal.
Yeah.
Sawa unaipenda lakini ni hasara. Filamu inakusumbua, change hivi. That's how brutal it is. So sometimes you need to get people that are brutal in business to be part of your creative business so that you start understanding the structures that will make you unlock big money.
Wow.
So coming from that point is one of the things that made us start SPM Africa. SPM of Africa, until recently, when they started SPM Buzz, is when people started knowing that SPM Africa exists.
Yeah.
But it has been there from 2017.
Yes.
Yeah, we are turning 10 years, I think, next year. Next year. Okay. Okay.
They don't
Unajua
want to
Liambo
clap, but
kutaka-
me have clapped.
kutafuta makofi. So, in a story ndogo. So, there's a time I went to do comedy in comedy clubs in Minnesota, and they were not laughing. So I realized these white people usually clap when you have an achievement. So I changed the strategy. So I would start like, so guys, I just turned 20, they clap. I just got married last week, they clap. So there are
Yeah.
things that need clapping regardless.
Yeah.
So now, looking at that trigger when we started the SPM Africa, we started it from that creative, with a motto ya creative. Hizi agents, sasa hizi biashara ni zetu sasa. Hii campaign tunasikia 600 million, sasa ni
Yeah.
ni yetu. And we looked at 3 aspects that were driving our space. So for me specifically, that was comedy, film, that was my area, and events.
Yeah.
So we started with events because the digital space had not opened up that big. That's around early 2017. It was not a thing yet. The corporates had not believed in that space. So we started with events, but in events, remember, they're also big boys for events. There are people who, when they're asked for their portfolios for events, mtu anaeka mpaka vitu za UN. UN, Unicitad, nini?
Yeah.
Wewe unaeka campus tour moja. So that space was terrible a bit because I think we were trying also to join a game that everybody exists in it. And we are really trying to get the opportunities that are getting, but we are not unique in any way.
Okay.
In any way. So the brutal lesson that I personally started learning is that what I was doing initially, comedy, that space, I will just see in that space how I'm going to do value add, but now as a company.
All right.
Rather than trying to be an entity and competing for the same space. Let me give you a practical example.
Okay.
If you have a company
Mhm.
and you've been getting best TVC deals, best campaigns,
Mhm.
and you've been getting anything you want just from the corporates when it comes to advertising.
Yeah.
But now, when there is a comedy brief,
Yes.
it doesn't matter if you've done all that.
Mm.
I have an upper hand
Because
that's my area of trade.
expertise, yeah.
So it's easy for that client to trust me because this is my area.
Mm.
So now that is one thing we started realizing and said, okay, we'll only focus with opportunities that align
Yeah.
with our trade and our art.
Wow.
Kuna swali lingine fikia hapo, juu ni swali moja najibu bado.
Umejibu kama swali 4
Okay.
with more English than I've ever had you speak
You're asking
before
about
in my
the
life.
You're asking about the transition from comedy to
But
business.
yeah, no, I mean you've answered so well, and you've also answered a lot of my follow-up questions. But this question I have to ask before we move to Q&A.
Yeah.
So last week you announced that you want to make 100 Kenyan-themed films
Yes.
in 2 years.
Yes.
So what
God
is the
willing.
idea behind this like really ambitious like project? And of course you called it Slate 100, Sindio.
Yeah.
And how do you intend to see it through?
The whole idea for Slate 100 was one. You see, we produce movies.
Mm.
I'm sure we produce movies, but how many Kenyan movies do you know that were produced this year?
I can't even mention one, honestly.
But trust me, they are good films.
Yeah.
They are good films, like ni cinema noma.
Mm.
But now, you will, on the other side, you'll hear people maybe saying our audience do not watch our movies.
Mhm.
But you know, the audience will also tell you, hamna ma movie. Hatuzijui. Because this audience is consuming content every day.
Mm.
Whether it's TikTok, YouTube, people go to cinemas.
Yeah.
But let's walk around all cinemas. Chances of you getting a Kenyan movie being screened
Very low.
in a Kenyan cinema is very low.
Yeah.
Very low. But now the funny thing, anytime there's been a Kenyan premiere, that is the only time theaters will tell you they were full.
Mm.
They were full to a point that even some people were not let in.
Yeah.
So even them, they acknowledge that real business can come from our industry.
Mm.
But now, what is the link? How do we create attention and make people understand that we have catalog? How do we make cinemas, distributors come here calling and they're like, hey, tupatieni movie mpya, mwezi kosa.
Mm.
We really need to consolidate some noise, create a catalog that has certain standard and quality. By quality, I do not mean a good picture. I mean, hii ilitolewa ile time ya hivi na hivi, basi tuko sure story ni poa.
Yeah.
Casting iko sawa, kila kitu iko sawa.
Yeah.
So now, Slate 100, the whole idea was, let's use 100 films and do whatever we'll do for one film to meet a certain standard in all these films, so as to maintain consistency in the quality that's produced. So what happens? There is a pitch. People come with stories. There is a board that handles stories. The board goes through the stories, narrows down the stories that will be filmed, together with the owners of the story, refine the stories using people that understand what is needed in the market, both locally and globally.
Yeah.
So when they refine the stories, bring the cast. The cast also engages with people in the industry who have been there, and we train each other, share some notes, watch things that win. And now by the time we do that film,
Mhm.
we are sure there is a certain standard. What does this give us? We are sure our audience has a catalog. Ni aje tuna release movie. So hawezi tuambia out of 100 haujaona, tafuta yenye utapenda ama upende zote.
So it's like sheer scale.
Yes, it's a raid. Yani tunataka ku consolidate attention so that when Slate 100 is done, there is a need.
Mm.
There is a need because we are accustomed to a certain noise for Kenyan films. And we are putting in a lot of resources because it's not just about producing, it's about also distributing.
Right.
We want even to be able to promote these films outside the country in festivals. You know, funny thing about Oscars, when a country submits a movie for Oscars, a country takes initiative to promote that film in different festivals where the juries will watch.
Yeah.
And countries spend about even more than 200 million. But our country has never done that. Just to rally up behind a film and put money and say, hii lazima ishinde Oscars.
Yeah.
Hii lazima to promote. It has never happened.
Yes.
You see? So we really need to start creating that will. And it is a will that will continue on and on again. And if you look at,
even without you being there to push
I don't need to be there.
Yeah.
And by the way, your project Tata, me personally, I think just is the vision and the idea. The people who are running Slate 100, totally different people from the industry, from different sectors, because we really need to fix a problem that we have.
Right.
Because you see, film industry is an anchor to many industries in the creative sector. With film industry, you can make impact in the music industry, you can make impact in the fashion industry, communication, tourism, banking. Countries have used film to program the world. Like we believe FBI knew Anoma because of film.
Yeah.
Like that's a tool that if we get it right, we unlock potential in many industries.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. I think if anyone has a question for Butita, you can raise your hands as we continue having this conversation. Does anyone have a question? Yes. Oh, now they all stop being shy. They're all at the front here. I hope you're ready.
Sapa ndo napenda. Many politician.
Hi, Butita.
Yes.
So, umesema stuff here. That's actually really cool. I've never had somebody do. So, I like the films. Like you said, 100, yeah.
Yes.
So, like, are they like short films? How many full 1 hour, 2 hour movies?
We've segmented so as to be able to serve all needs. Because if we say shots pekee, tunaweza kuwa tena na shots mingi watu waseme hatu achieve goal. So if a number of films will be that will be short, a number of films that will be feature films, and also including people, a number of films that will even include people with disabilities pia. Kuna siku tulienda mahali huku kwa sign language watu wakatuambia wanaonana stoto sana. Tuka realize kumbe zile subtitles siweka kwa Anastoto. Siweka tu.
Yeah.
We really need to know that there are also people that need to enjoy art and they don't because we ignore them when we are.
Yeah, there's no
putting
accessibility.
So we'll segment different categories so as to be able to serve all areas. So we'll have short films, we'll have limited series, we'll have films, feature films.
Okay.
All right.
I have multiple questions.
Go on.
But
if you have many, just ask one more and then the rest you can ask him.
There are not that many.
Ask.
Oh, okay.
So, just two. One is, who are your casts? You know, there's this word that goes around about films in Kenya, how it's just the same just the same rotation of the same people. So are you giving opportunities to now people starting acting and people who you've just scouted? So how does your cast look like?
If we are doing 100 films and we are doing just say an average of 50, or even, okay, 50 is plus crew.
Yeah.
Hata tutakeaje? Huwezi toboa kwa zote. So now, one, let's agree that the same way a banker goes to work until they're 65 is the same way an actor is working. Hiyo ndo job yao. So we can't retire actors after 1 or 2 films because they are the same face. Like it's their work. So if you ask me, an actor is supposed to transition. So if you are doing roles, like right now, you can comfortably play a Gen Z role. But in 15 years to come, we want people to be playing roles that were Zazie. In other years, we want Morgan Freeman. So actors should just transition, not exiting after 2 or 3 films. Because acting is society and society has everyone. So actually we should not force actors in multiple roles that they're not fitting in.
Yeah.
But if someone can put out a role very nice, and that's what will make it achieve what we need, even if they've been in other movies, let's be fair enough to say they'll just play that role. So now the idea is let's blend new people that want to try that space and people who have existed so that they can work together. So that when people have been in that space later exit, we have an engine that continues. Because we've tried that. We've tried pitching a show with totally new people. That's when you realize in the content business, people do not buy content, they buy audience.
The
Like-
audience is a product.
Like when Netflix came to Kenya, they know that we can produce movie, but the question is, who are we putting in these movies to increase subscriptions?
Mm.
And that's what we are trying to solve with Slate 100. Be able to convince someone that this can bring numbers because it is a buzz that was created and people know things that were created in this space. So they'll exist and also new people will exist in that.
Yeah. Also, just to add, because that's, I have to say that question, when people say we see the same faces over and over again, it grinds my gears a bit. So that I'm glad that he said that, acting is a job like anybody else. If you look at any international actor that you're a fan of, you became a fan of them by seeing them repeatedly and over several bodies of work. So I don't know why it is then that seeing the same actor in Kenya, it comes down to we've seen you too much rather than there are too few films. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah. I think we need to change our mindset from that scarcity. There's enough work for everybody if the work is created. Rather than saying, I have seen Brenda Wairimu too many times, aende afanye nini. It's her job, right? Any other questions? Yes, back there.
Hi, Butisha.
Yes, hi.
My name is Eddie.
Yeah, like me.
I'm a sharp boy.
Sharp.
Sharp boys. I think you preempted my question, which was on, I wanted to know now that you have a myriad diverse of audiences, for you specifically, when companies are dealing with you entity to entity, are they renting your audience or buying your creativity? And further to that, how does that change how you create? And because you spoke about us being greedy, I'll take my final question, which is based on, since you work a lot with your friends, the Abel Motuas of this world, I wanted to know for you, which boundary did you have to draw such that your friendship does not suffer the consequences of perhaps not agreeing on a creative idea?
That's a good question.
Okay, let me start with the second one. We are not friends, we are friendly businessmen. Yeah, friendly businessmen.
You're such a troll.
Yes, we are united by our works most of the time, and there is less of idle time among us to a point that it's very hard to get looped into tuzite siasa za group. Because now, all of us have entities. Kinabel, they have Philip Production, Jugush has Creative, Jugush Creatives, we have SPM. The funniest thing is, even when we are engaging, our companies engage in the background. We do not, kama sahi, niko TTNT, lakini discussions at TTNT sifanyi na Jugush. Like, I don't remember when we did those discussions.
Oh, it's you have your people talk to his people.
And it's very smooth. Watu wako walielewana na watu bado wanangangana wataelewana tu. So the whole idea is that we are bounded with the business principles. And in business, it does not matter if someone is your friend, your partner, or who. It has just some fundamental principles. Kama ni makandarasi, ni makandarasi. So sisi tuna play tu role ya kwa watu wazima kwa biashara ambao ni marafiki pia.
Yeah.
But idle time haiko mingi. Sasa sidani.
Yeah. Any other questions? There's one right here at the
Oh,
front.
there was a second question.
Oh, there was a
for him.
second question.
Yeah,
Sorry.
whether the clients rent your audience or buy your creativity. A very thin line, if you ask me, because sometimes you need money to fuel your creativity. And then someone comes with money and conditions. And that's why I really love the digital space. We did a very good story is the series that we did, Anastoto. Like, do you know the people rejected that series because of the pilot episode? It had a story about a 52-year-old going for circumcision. That was episode 1. Hii mnafam change nini hizi vitu wasee wa Kenya nini. We even have an episode where some waria wamevamia hospitali. There is nowhere hiyo kitu inge air. Hakuna mtu angebuy hiyo kitu. But you see, digital has a very nice way of opening up your creativity without limits to a point that people who have money now start bowing down to your creativity because they understand if they need your audience, they have to let you do your own, play your own ball.
Yeah.
Because now you've been able to show some proof
of concept
with some freedom.
Yeah.
We've had that time trying to work with broadcasters and platforms because of that point. Are you buying our audience or
are you
renting our audience or buying our creativity?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That's a great. Oof, I hadn't thought about it that way. Someone else here at the front? Oh, actually, is that Ian that wants to ask a question?
Maybe to add on a second, those episodes and the things that were said they were bad when you were suggesting, they have aired even on national TV after we've done them. They were bought later. Ayo kitu ni noma, leteni sasa tununue.
All right. Final question in the interest of time.
Good evening.
Hi.
Hi, Butita.
Yes, hi.
So my name is Ajuma. I am a podcaster. My podcast is called Crime KE Podcast, Crime with a K. It is a true crime podcast for stories from Kenya.
Word.
So I'm so glad he brought up the business thing because I've been struggling with the business side of the podcast because I'm so glad you said creatives, our satisfaction is in the story being out there. So me, when I tell the story, it's out there, I am satisfied. But again, this podcast is not paying my rent. I feel like the creative side is doing okay. But I am unemployed. So what I did, last year, I put together a team of 5 friends and I told them my vision is this and this. I need to make money from this. And I even had to disband the whole group because, again, I felt like they did not understand my vision. And also, I did not want to break the friendship. So what would you advise me as a creative and in the business to, how do I make this work?
How do you monetize?
Yeah.
I'm also a victim in that podcast space. I invested heavily on podcast studios because I was like, hey, podcast, that's our podcast, and brought a foreign style of conversation to suit our audience just because there is some dynamics that run a podcast.
Yeah.
Because look, okay, name random podcast, top podcast in the country, top.
TMI, It's Related, I Promise, Financially Inc., Mic Check, Sandwich. So this is love, yes.
Assuming wametoa mic hapo wamekaa wakaongea, bado ni podcast?
Wait, what do you mean?
Wametoa hizo mic za hivi.
Hizo za kuhang hapo. Hizi za shure make.
Bado ni podcast?
Would you call them a podcast? Actually, yes. I would call them a podcast.
I think I would call them a podcast.
Yeah.
But I think when it comes to podcast, we are so lost into the style and format, the how it looks.
Oh, we are married to the look rather than
to the look
content.
of how does a podcast look?
Yeah.
How does a podcast look rather than what are we talking about? Because unaenda TikTok, unakutana na Gen Z tu kwa barabara anapiga story na Gen Z mwenzake, wanakula 500,000 views nini, all of a sudden oneka microphone kwa meza wako na 1,000.
Yeah. Let me give you an example. The show that Butita and I started on, I would say that was a precursor to the modern podcast in Kenya. But there was no microphone. Did we all have microphones in front of our noses?
No, I'm not against microphones. I'm saying that, yes.
I know. But
there is what we think is a podcast.
Yeah.
But what is really a podcast? So she was doing true crime.
Yeah, true crime.
How many were you? Alone. But I'm sure, I think hata 2 weeks haijaisha, stories za crime za Kenya zenye napata watu wakinipigia kwa TikTok na zinaenda ni mingi. Mbona yako inakataa? Unaweza kuona i-complicate. Maybe unaweza kuona i-complicate. The business. If the viewership is okay, then you are doing well. Just make it sustainable. Don't like, how can you do it without spending on it, sana? So that it becomes comfortable doing it until it breaks that space. Another problem that we might be doing in that podcast space, there are podcasts that are 1 hour, 2 hours, which I agree, someone has to spare 2 hours zake in a day, akupatie ukacheze nazo 2 hours. But now, what happens after we post a podcast for 1 hour this week on YouTube? Then it gets like 5,000. The next week we are shooting another hour. So in 1 month we have 4 hours that we've not even distributed well. If you look at people like Akina Vusi, Tembekwayo, who they have been made by shots. So sometimes maybe even the content that's supposed to give us revenue or make change, we've already done it, but we don't know.
Yeah.
It's just not well distributed. Because when it comes to podcasts, we are so into recording. Bora podcast ni refu, nimeweka. Kumbe hata labda afanikatema 1 minute nicheze nazo huku.
Yeah.
Ilete busy. So that space, even for me, it's a bit, I'm trying to understand a lot of things. Because I've seen people booking podcast session, mtu anapotea.
Yeah.
Alafu nikaona mtu ako na audience, hani data your studio. Anaeka simu kwa nyumba, anapiga podcast yake, ina hit. Mtu ana audience, ndiye anakujaga anataka ma lights. Juu anafikiria hizo ndo zitafanya.
Yeah.
It's more into the content.
With more content than what it looks like. All right. You and I could be having this conversation all night, but we have to end our conversation there. If Butita is not, unapotea sahi? No, he's not. So you're staying. So if you have any further questions for Butita, so you just hang around for at least half an hour, 1 hour afterwards, and then come on. What's the rush?
Sure, you are free, missy free.
Uko free, babe. Uko free. Anyway, we have to end the conversation there. And before we move on into Brandy Miner's performance that I have been longing for. I love her voice so much. I can see some of you are just waiting for her as well. But before that, I want us to hear from our founder, Ian Wafula, especially about what we have discussed here today. He's right there at the back being shy, but let's hear from him. There's a package we prepared for you guys.
The Kenyan government came into office with the promise to create 4 million jobs, both in the formal and informal sector. 3 years later, there are actually fewer employment opportunities than the numbers of people entering the job market. So what happens? Many of those people who got degrees, spent their money and time in school, have actually gotten into the hustle economy, and there's nothing wrong with that. They're getting in not to grow, but actually to survive their everyday life. Available initiatives like Hustler Fund or the New Youth Opportunities Towards Advancement, better known as Nyota, are facing concerns about potential mismanagement, lack of accountability, and political manipulation, which has actually become a huge concern. Take the Nyota program, for instance. It's being framed as a government fund supporting young people, but in reality, it's a loan from the World Bank, and every Kenyan taxpayer will be paying for it whether they benefit or not. Many of those receiving the funds do not have financial management skills, and because they're caught up with their everyday bills, they would rather use that money to sort themselves out fast instead of investing. So where does this leave young people? You did what you're told, went to school, got that degree, but the jobs aren't there. The hassles aren't stable and the support systems are uncertain. So maybe the real question is, if the system is not working for you, who is it working for?
Okay, I was going to stand up, but I'm trapped. I don't know how this happened. Anyway, being clumsy. So I hope you guys have gotten what you needed to get from this conversation. And if you haven't, please make sure to catch Butita, who's around. And also, if you want to have a second look at this conversation, you can catch us over on Sauti Sessions YouTube channel as well, if you want to watch it and share it with everybody you know as well. Well, right before we wrap up, we've been promising you her. Here she is, the one, the only, Miss Brandy Maina.
Hi, sweet souls. Hi. My name is Brandy Maina. I'm a singer, songwriter. We've come on a ride. I promise to just practice. Anyway, I'm gonna be singing a few songs for you. I just want to say thank you to Sauti Sessions, Ian, and everyone that is a part of this beautiful space. Thank you so much for trusting me to close this. You know, as an artist, sometimes you get so used to performing to drunk people that we forget such spaces that actually allow us to be heard. So yeah, I'm gonna start with a song called Navigate, and I wrote this song to remind us that love is not a feeling, it's a choice, and it gets boring. So the problem with our generation is that when it gets boring, we want to look for excitement elsewhere. We want to look to where the grass is greener, and then you do that, and then you find that it's pre-paid. It's not even green, you know? So, yeah, and we need God when those days get there.
Mwaka nadai kupenda mse vile ataka mtu tuta navigate. Sinanga type, I don't care about your age, but your heart is in it, and you want me to. But I would appreciate. Now tiny dates, so go tiny late. Me want a body I can hold, and a mind that's bold with a soul that's old. Give me someone that grows my potential and vice versa. And I need you and I akona rasa. Me for me, stay here, please, babe. When the feeling fades, I love you when the feeling fades. Feeling, that's how we navigate. I love you when the feeling fades. That's how we navigate. That's how we move. It's how we navigate. That's how we move. That's how we navigate. That's how we move. It's how we navigate. It's how we navigate. That's how we move. It's how we navigate. That's how we move. That's how we navigate. That's how we move. Tunataka baby, hakuna discussion. Achana na promises,
Mufanya actions. You're my other half, come to complete he fraction. Takupea mapenzi ka the 90s old fashioned. I think loving you, baby, that's my real passion. I'm a G, but still taku show compassion. Wadi me spread, love yetu menda commercial. Mahita wakibanja tunafanya diro rasho. Me want a body I can hold, and a mind that's with the. Give me someone that grows my potential and vice versa. And I need you and I Canada. Oh, yeah. Hey, be always pray for this, 'cause we need God. We forget that love is a choice when the feeling fades. I love you when the feeling fades. Feeling. That's how we navigate. That's how we navigate. That's how we move. That's how we navigate. That's how we move. That's how we navigate. That's how we move. Thank you. Whew. I'm so glad I'm done with that one. The first song is usually so scary. Anyway, the second one. Yeah. Thank you. Oh, yeah. I love the energy. Thank you. So this next one, I wrote it when I was very, very frustrated. It was during Maandamano season. And I was wondering, like, why is there such, like, there was a lack of empathy, still a lack of empathy with our leaders, the people who were meant to sort for protection, you know? So I was really sad and I was like, I need to express myself. So yeah, this is what came out. I call it Kilio, but I think it's called Streets. But you let me know. All right. Mr. Man, Mr. Officer, please release me. Nini nimefanya misina vita. I'm just busy, niko streets, I'm hustling. Sina ubaya, so ni nini na kuudhi. We hauoni nchi yetu inawaka moshi, na hausikii kilio cha jamii. Man, I really want to change my country. I really want to be free. Unatupotezea wakati, hatutakubali. Watupeleka down, kila wiki tuko down. Do tusikike lakini you never ever come around. Why do you want us all dead? Can't you see utatupata, pata. Streets, oh, streets, oh, bila sisi mtaisha. Mbona unatupa kisogo? Oh, unacheza na maisha yetu akiwewe kaongo songa. Hauoni nchi yetu inawaka moshi. Hausikii kilio cha jamii. Man, I really want to change my country. I really want to be free. Unatupotezea wakati.
dhati, hatutakubali watupeleka down. Kila wiki tuko town, ndo tusikike, lakini you never ever come around. Why do you want us all dead? Can't you see utatupata pata? Streets, 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 oh, streets, oh, streets, 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 oh, streets. Hauoni nchi yetu inawaka moshi, yeah, na hausikii kilio cha jamii.
Thank you. So, should I call it streets or kilio? Guys, just because it's like streets. Okay, streets it is. All right. This next one, I have never ever performed this song, and it's one of my recent releases. It's called Trust Issues. I have a lot of trust issues. Oh my God. It's featuring XO, a very, very dope artist. Okay. Do you know I've forgotten the song? Like, what's wrong with me? Oh, got it.
Sijui can't I do what I have to do today, 'cause I lose my baby, that's for sure. I feel burrito flowing in my bones, in my bones, in my bones. This is over, boo. Akini nina do. I really thought you did love me. Kinda thought that you're the one. Baby, I don't think I love you the way you think I do. Roho yangu imepitia, naogopa nikifo tanishikilia. Roho yangu haijatulia, juu mimi niko na trust issue. I can never trust anyone no more. Hata nikiwa mavitu, I can never trust anyone, so I'm writing so low. Can never trust no one, trust nobody, trust no one, nobody, trust no one, and that's nobody, trust no one, nobody, trust no one, nobody but me. And it's the way you holding on to our past issues. I've been showing you the change, darling. Madame, falling bed, let's talk, we need it, madame. And this time we try to fix this. Hata me, my lady, but you're conflicted. Nakurada me, my baby, but you can't see it, madame. Falling bed, let's talk, we need it, madame. And this time we try to fix this. Loving me, feel you're conflicted. Loving me, complete. Loving one another till the end, 'cause we're trapped in addiction, mommy. Oh yeah, yeah, and you cannot trust issues. Ntakusuka when I come see you. This through. But baby, you cannot trust issues. I can never trust anyone no more. Nikiwa vitu. I can never trust no one. Trust nobody, nobody. Trust no one, nobody. Trust no one, and there's nobody, nobody. Trust no one, nobody. Trust no one, nobody but.
Gosh. Wow, alrighty. So this is my last song. And I'd really like for you to sing it with me if you know it. And if you don't know it, go and stream it. It's called Kubali. Thank you.
Oh, admit it, oh, admit. Oh, admit it, oh. Oh, admit it, oh, admit. Admit it, oh. Oh, admit it, oh, admit. Oh, admit it, oh. Oh, admit it, oh, admit. Admit. Nataka kukuona karibu nikute. What? Tutaona na lini? Karibu ni confess na mafilo, lakini I know wako ni kalongo longo longo lo, kwangu ni kulove me no lo lo lo. Bado nakumi, sijai forget ile kiss. The best timing was this. Our loving was real, so siati na kudis, but it's better like this, 'cause we've gotta admit it, admit, admit, 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 admit it, admit, admit. I care for real, you didn't care. Nilikuwa natoka fika hadi kwe kukupea unfair, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Tell me, yeah, yeah, yeah. Ukweli, tell me. Ukweli ni bado wanimiss. Hujai forget ile kiss. The best timing was this. Our loving was real, so siati na kudis, but it's better like this, 'cause we've gotta oh, admit it, oh, admit. Oh, admit it, oh. Oh, admit it, oh, admit. Admit it, oh. Oh, admit it, oh, admit. Oh, admit it, oh. Oh, admit it, oh, admit. Admit. hill nikute. What nina mafi kwako ni kalongo yana kwangu ni kulove me na love. Give it up for Esther. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. May you have a beautiful evening.
Wait, before you go, I need to ask you, who is this that's making you yearn like this? Because, girl, you're yearning.
Oh my God.
This is music for yearning.
For yearning.
We are yearning out here. Who is he so that we can all avoid him?
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn. Or you'll tell me afterwards.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
All right.
I'll tell you.
All right, cool. Another hand for the one, the only Miss Brandy Minor. All right, so that brings us to the end of this evening's entertainment. But before I do, I have to say thank you to all our partners. First of all, give it up for Baraza Media Lab for hosting us. Thank you so much, Baraza Media Lab. Also, thank you so much to Define Africa, because they are the reason you can hear anything we have said or sung today. So give it up for Define Africa. Also, give it up for CJP Films, who have a mainly female crew. I'm sure you've noticed. Girl power, who run the world, etc. And also, finally, I want to give a huge shout out to Little Cab. How many of you guys took a Little Cab coming? Because there was a promo. If you didn't, I am so sorry. I know Esther didn't. She came with her little helmet with a pink ribbon. Here, I have seen it. I want to take a photo with it. All right. And finally, I know he was not expecting me to do this, but I have to say the biggest thank you to our founder, Ian Wafula. He doesn't want to talk to you guys, but he's standing there handsomely at the back. Thank you for being a great work husband, and thank you furthermore for this fantastic platform. And finally, I want to give it up for you guys for making it here and for staying until almost 9 p.m. I know tomorrow is a public holiday, Monday is a public holiday, and also my birthday, guys. I'm turning 44. Should you want me to behave like Esther Passaris and say, see, but I'm 61. Take shot. You'll never see me doing it. And also, I want to say a big thank you to our panelists, Nyandia Gashago, Barak, and also Butita, who is the head noise maker here at the front. Thank you so much for everyone. And all right. And with those very few remarks that lasted almost 3 hours, I give you back your time. Thank you for coming, and good night. Hi.